Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome everyone to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we have a brand new show. How exciting is this? It's Loving Longevity. We have a brand new co-host, Annie Bush, and I am so excited because this is a topic that is so near and dear to all of us, right? We all want to live long, healthy, beautiful lives filled with peace and love. And Annie is an expert in so many things. Let's bring her out as the new co-host. Let's just get her out here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you, USA Global TV, for having me and supporting Loving Longevity. What we're going to be doing in the weeks and months to come, and maybe years to come, is teaching you how to activate your own fountain of youth. And it's right here, and it's in your stem cells and your ability to detoxify and reduce your inflammation. And today, reducing your exposure to environmental toxins. So I am a longevity strategist. So part of what Loving Longevity is going to be about is teaching you, empowering you to take control of your own health, to live younger now and for years to come. And part of it, that strategy involves these little patches, which are the LifeWave stem cell activation patches. They work on light therapy, using just your own body heat to reflect light. There's little crystals in these patches that reflect the light back into your body and naturally activate your own stem cells. And that's what longevity is all about, is resetting your own stem cells back to a younger age. And it's possible now for everybody. If they're affordable, they don't use any controversial sources. You know, you're using your own body heat, your own natural stem cells to reset your own longevity. So Dr. Jacalyn, that's what this series is going to be about, is hearing amazing stories from amazing people that continue to do amazing things later in life. We're going to learn how to basically biohack your own longevity and your youth using right here, your own body's energy, and empowering everybody to tap into those sources of their youth. So I am so excited for this series.
I'm excited too. And Annie, I'm wondering if, see on my side, is this like before and you're the after picture?
I know this is kind of odd. I'm going to have to get, as my, I'm activating my stem cells, so my hair is growing faster. So I'll just keep getting new pictures taken.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're the after for me. I'm the before and you're the after.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. No, we'll get your picture in there too. So
yeah,
we'll both have twins.
See, yeah, we just have so much fun here on this platform. But you've brought a great guest, so accomplished. When I was reading her bio, I thought, oh my goodness, how did she have time to do all of these things?
I know.
So, how do you know Jayme, and what is your relationship? Like, how did you guys meet?
When I first became a personal trainer, health coach, about 10 years ago, Jayme was one of the first people that I met. Either it's through mutual friends or networking, but she is probably, if you use the term wicked smart, that's Jayme. And my first meetings with her is she was using a treatment that used either light frequency or electricity or whatever to tighten up my skin. So 10 years ago, I was loving longevity to look younger. And Jayme was probably the first person that introduced me to light therapy and Reiki and all those different energy type modalities. And like I said, she is wicked smart.
Well, let's bring her out, and then we're going to go through all these designations after her name. Welcome to the program, Jayme.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. What a nice introduction, Annie. So great
It's
to
all
be
true.
here.
Jayme, where are you joining us from today?
I am in Sarasota, Florida.
You're in Florida too. Okay,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Beautiful and warm and sunny and filled with snowbirds at the moment here.
Yes, I know all about that. Let's just bring up your banner and go through this. Okay, so you've got a master's in education.
Yep. I started out as a Montessori teacher for 10 years. And that's part of what got me interested in natural healing, was just seeing all of the things cropping up in children, the autism spectrum disorders, attention deficit things, at just much higher rates. And I started really wondering what environmental things were causing those and how to go about healing them.
And then what about the RMT?
So I'm a Reiki master teacher. I do teach a lot of other teachers, practitioners, about Reiki and how to use it. That was something that was early on in my career, a way for me to kind of open up new channels, learning about energy and how it works in the body. And I find it to be very useful for new practitioners to kind of tap into that modality.
And I believe, Annie, you mentioned that you've had Reiki, or you've had a Reiki, what's it called, treatment? I don't know.
Well, one of the first treatments that I had from Jayme was called a jade treatment. And that was, it was using, Jayme, was it light frequencies or just electrical?
So it uses Rife frequencies and light therapies, along with some Tesla coil stuff. But I don't use that much with my clients anymore. I have it. I should be using it for my personal longevity, but it's actually stashed in the closet at the moment. You're reminding me that maybe I should dig that out.
You know what? And I remember at one point you were even talking about me buying it.
Yes. And
full circle.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jayme, for people who aren't aware, what is Reiki and what are the benefits of it?
Reiki is really just the laying on of hands. And, people are most familiar with Jesus doing that, but it's activating universal life source energy, whatever that means to you, if that's God, consciousness, energy, and you just basically are a vessel for that healing energy to come through to the client that you're working on.
Very interesting. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Annie in a second. I just want to go through. So the RYT?
I'm a registered yoga teacher, not teaching anymore, but schooling that I have. So a lot of these things, they were things that were interesting to me on my path, and things I studied for a period of time. And I think, like most of us that are lifelong learners, we follow these paths and we acquire all these different sources of knowledge. And at some point we become our own thing. And that's sort of what happened to me. I'm a little bit of an anomaly, I guess, from all the different rabbit holes I've gone down. And we'll talk a little more about that in a bit when we get to the VOSTU and muscle testing and stuff. But yeah, I think all of us have experienced some type of trauma or complication or something that we wanted answers and solutions to. Mostly in healing is what we're talking about today. And we went on a search, and my search took me a lot of different places. And that's sort of why I'm where I am now.
I love that about you. My path has been kind of over here, over there, real estate license, insurance license. It's just, you try things, you learn things, and it works or it doesn't work. But when it comes to longevity, what would you say, out of everything that you've learned, all your knowledge, all your expertise, what is the one thing that stands out to you the most that is you want our audience to know?
So the most important thing to me has become the last few letters, which we didn't even get to, and that's the QRA, which stands for quantum reflex analysis. And that's a method that I learned through a nutraceutical company called Premier Research Labs. And it encompasses emotional clearing, restoring interference patterns in the body, figuring out what supplements someone should use through body dowsing, and then remediating a person's house and protecting them from all these unseen energies like electromagnetic fields that we don't really realize are significantly impacting our wellness and our ability to live a long, happy, healthy life.
It's fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard anything about that before.
Yeah, so most people haven't. About 10 years ago, when I first started using quantum reflex analysis, and I refer to it oftentimes as muscle testing or kinesiology or dowsing because people are more familiar with those terms. But 10 years ago, most people looked at me like I was crazy. And now most people will say, oh, my sister does something like that, or my cousin told me about something like that, or I met somebody at a fair. So it's becoming much more prevalent now, and people are realizing that there are very simple, natural ways to tap into the human energy field and get some answers that aren't extremely cost prohibitive, which has been the case up until now.
Annie, what are your thoughts on that? I love that, the fact that it's not costly and it doesn't involve some type of drug or something you take out of a million other routes that people could go.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we're all about tapping into that energy. But if it's okay, if we could start talking about EMFs, where they come from, what they do to our body, and what you're doing with your company to protect us from EMFs.
Sure, absolutely. So I think we're all aware at this point that our bodies are electrical. They run on chemicals, electricity. We are actually a human battery. And I think people can also understand that the things that we are interacting with on a daily basis, like our cell phones and our computers and our cars, our televisions, there's tons of electricity around us. And we also mostly know that our Earth is electrical, has an electric field to it. So where EMFs become kind of important is when they start causing stress on our own electrical field, and then therefore causing problems because they're messing with how we're just supposed to be functioning normally.
So when you say that they're interfering with the way that we're functioning, are we talking about oxidative stress? Are we talking about stress on the body that creates disease and inflammation and those kinds of conditions?
So there are two types of electrical interference that we're getting. There's ionizing radiation and non-ionizing radiation, and both of them are problematic. And what, there's, everything has its own frequency. So I'm just going to kind of, for the sake of this show, lump it all into electromagnetic stress or EMF stress. But there's dirty electricity, there's radio frequency stress. There's even stress that's natural stress that's caused by things like mirrors and windows that shoot energy that we're mostly unaware of. But basically, all these types of electrical interference with our body become energy drains to our system. And this can cause mitochondria damage, oxidative stress, like you mentioned. It can create lots of free radicals in our body by knocking electrons off atoms. And when you have too many free radicals in your body, then you start having problems with your DNA, with your cell walls. And basically, you start prematurely aging, or you put your body into a state where it's very ripe for disease and then maybe even cancer.
You hit it, the prematurely aging.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No. What are the sources that we get exposed to on a daily basis that we're getting exposed to these EMFs or this dirty energy? Okay,
good question. So the most obvious answer is your cell phone. But unfortunately, it's so prevalent in our lives now. It's your refrigerator, it's your microwave, it's your electric stove, it's your hair dryer that you use every morning, it's your car engine, it's your computer that you're in front of, it's your wireless mouse and your wireless keyboard, it's the smart meter on your house. It's actually even the water line and the AC units that are coming into your home also create bad electromagnetic fields, and then all the wiring that goes through your walls from your circuit breaker box. So that's just a few of them. There's also your ceiling fans, cordless phones, dimmer switches. There's a whole host of problems. And when we just think about the cell phone, we think, okay, well, I can put that away, or I'm not on it, that much. But when you really start adding up all the things in your environment that are in your space all the time, it really is a problem.
That is overwhelming. I'm just thinking about all the things in this house, and I'm glued to the phone and the computer all the time.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference if we don't hold the phone up to our ear, or no? If we put
Yeah,
it on
you
speaker?
definitely don't want to hold the phone up to your ear. Even like these earbud things are not good. So the phone away from you and on speaker is the best way to use it. And when I first started learning about electromagnetic fields and how problematic they were, and really doing muscle testing and seeing how putting a phone in your field will crash your whole biofield and turn off your hypothalamus and turn off your pituitary, that's when I really started kind of being upset about them and kind of panicking and feeling overwhelmed and like I didn't know what to do, right? And the good thing is now I have solutions for these things that I can share with people so that we're not feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. There's no way to escape these things, because really we're approaching the point where you won't be able to escape these frequencies anywhere on the planet. Unfortunately. So we have to learn to live with them, how to deal with them, how to protect our bodies from them. And yeah, so they're problematic more so for some people than others, which you might know.
So just a quick comment. So you mentioned you have some solutions. Is one of them going to be that we should move into the woods in a cabin somewhere? It's just yes.
Well, that's a great idea, except when you get to your cabin, you're going to need to work remotely. So you're going to need Wi-Fi, and you're going to want electricity. So you're going to have electricity there, and you're going to want to talk on your cell phone to your friends that aren't up in the mountains with you. So really, the best thing is to find solutions to help remediate these issues and to lessen or dampen these fields so that they're not pulling on you quite as hard.
I'd love to hear more about that.
Okay, so they're affecting everybody, which we should all be aware of, but there are people that experience them more strongly than other people, and that would be children, people over, I would say over 60, the older population, anyone with a Vata body type, so anyone that's more on the slender side, and people with heavy metal toxicity, because you are basically like an antenna for all the stuff, so it's kind of magnified. And then also people that have, maybe an overgrowth of bacteria or candida, or somebody that's suffering from something like Lyme's disease. These people can be extremely sensitive to it to the point of it being debilitating. But really they're affecting all of us. So there's a couple things we can do. There are supplements that we can take that will help basically help our cells rejuvenate and heal from the stress that we have been exposed to, and protect us from future stress. And then there are things that you can do in your home to remediate some of these fields. So that's part of what my specialty is. Most of my business is, the majority of my business starts with supplements and helping people figure out what supplements they should take. But you can dump all the most wonderful supplements that you want into your body. And if you're living in this junk EMF field, you're still not going to feel great. You're still going to have disrupted sleep. You still might have headaches or brain fog or heart arrhythmias, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on and on of all the health complications that come from these. And we don't always think that it's coming from electricity when it's the last thing that we think of, because one person could be experiencing it as allergies, and another person in the house might be experiencing it as attention deficit disorder. And so they don't seem like they're linked together, but they can all be oftentimes be traced back to just your EMFs in your house.
So what are the first steps that people take in working with you?
So typically I start with supplementation, but maybe let's come back to that at the end, because I like talking about how to fix the house.
All right, let's
That's
do
what
it.
most people don't know how to do. I use a copper polymer in the house. It's called Liquitech. And unfortunately, lots of people have gone to great expense and great lengths to buy contraptions and shielding paint and all sorts of things, Faraday cages for around their beds. And there's actually a really simple solution now that was developed by one of my teachers. And it's this liquid polymer. I actually have a little bottle right here. Show you. It's called Liquitech. And it's just a copper paint that you paint on your smart meter. You put it on your circuit breaker box, and it will reharmonize all the wiring throughout your whole house. You put it on your Wi-Fi router, underneath your computer, underneath all your kitchen appliances, and then on anything that you kind of use electrically every day. We mentioned the hair dryer. So it will basically diffuse the frequencies. And I didn't really completely understand this. So, a lot of people are like, well, how does it work? How does it work? And my teacher likes to just say, well, it just does, and just muscle test it. And just, so for a long time, I've been going to people's homes, my clients' homes, and I would muscle test all their acupuncture points. There are 37 main acupuncture points. And we look at how their organs and glands are reacting in their home. And then we would reharmonize the house with the paint. And then you could check these same acupuncture points again. And it was like magic, like instantly they were turned on. Typically in a home from the EMF stress, it's thyroid, pituitary, deep sleep point, liver, and hypothalamus, which regulates your hormones. So these things would instantly turn on. And it's very fun to see in real time. I wish I had a better type of like image or some type of scan that could really show you a chart or something with colors before and after. But what I do have is a lot of testimonials from people that have said this has changed their life. They're able to sleep again. I had one of the most dramatic experiences I had was with a 21-year-old who was autistic, and she hadn't slept through the night for her entire life. And after remediating their house, the next night she started sleeping through the night. Her bed was right next to the electrical smart meter on the outside of the wall. And because she was in a more sensitive population, it was really affecting her. So I have seen dramatic changes in people's lives just from some very simple techniques.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like everybody should have you come to their house and just neutralize it.
Well, people can do this themselves. I was trying to do that for a while and run to every single person's house. And then I started getting really tired. I thought I need to find a better way. So I wrote up some instructions. So now you can just order the paint for me and do it yourself. And it's cheap. Because, sometimes people charge thousands of dollars to come out to a house and do their feng shui or their meter reading or whatever it is. And it really doesn't need to be that way. There are shortcuts and cost-effective ways that we can deal with these things. So the Liquitech is one great way. You can also use it on your car engine. So for people that are in the car a lot and commuting a lot, the vortex of the engine can be a really big drain on them. So there's that. And then the other really fascinating product that I have is actually just rocks. They're special pink granite rocks. I'm going to show you one of them. And you actually take these and you bury them in the corners of your home. So sounds crazy, but the reason that they work and the reason that they are effective is because they cancel out the rebar grid in your cement foundation. And all of us have rebar in our cement under our home, unless, well, maybe if you're living in that log cabin in the woods, but most of them have rebar in the cement now too. So once you cancel out the rebar grid, what you do is you reattach your home to the Schumann resonance of the earth. That's the electric field of the earth. And that's what's rejuvenating to us and reharmonizing to us. And that's what helps take our free radicals from our body and recycle them into the earth and put negative ions around us, which is what we want for anti-aging. So between the rocks and the paint, you're under $100 and you've fixed about 99% of the energy drains in your home.
Now, the rocks, I would assume, are going to last forever. But what about the paint?
The paint too, it's a polymer, so it'll last. We're not even sure, actually. It's so far I think our testing's at about 5 years because that's how old it is. But it should last in your home indefinitely. It might maybe out at the smart meter outside, or if it's being weathered a lot, you might want to reapply it every couple of years. But for the most part, in the house, it's not going anywhere.
And for the people that are on business radio, the jar that you held up that has the paint in it seems very small.
It's very small. It's a half a fluid ounce.
Okay, so...
But here's what's so exciting about this little vial. 2 drops of this paint will reharmonize an entire cell phone tower. That's how strong it is. That's how powerful copper is. And copper works to attenuate frequencies. It dampens them, it lessens them, it diffuses them. And I think to some degree, it might even change the electron spin on like a quantum level. So instead of it having a positive right-handed spin, which drains your field, I think it changes it to a left-handed spin, which then will feed your field. And I don't have proof of that. I haven't found that research yet, but I think it's out there somewhere.
So that little bottle could neutralize an entire, say, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Yeah, and then you can go out to your your street if you have electric poles, and you can paint some on the grounding wire, and you can affect really large areas of your neighborhood. You can make a little gate that goes outside that will affect the sky around you for up to 12 miles. It's really powerful stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Learn something new every day.
Right?
Well, I think when Jayme and I first met, she was talking about neutralizing cell towers and driving up I-95.
It was a long trip because she had to stop all the way, right?
On the way up to that cabin in the woods.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, you had mentioned earlier about supplements too. Do you want to speak to that?
Sure. There's, I try not to overwhelm people with supplements. I'm going to give you the whole list. When I'm working with someone, I usually try to start with maybe 3 supplements. I feel like if you find the 3 most important things for that person, you're going to have the best results. They're going to be able to be compliant and not be overwhelmed. And then, then you go from there. But as far as electromagnetic field stress and repairing DNA, repairing mitochondria damage, the things that you want to think about putting into your routine would be B3, NADH, D3. I use Deltanol, which is a type of vitamin E that has gamma delta tocotrienols, turmeric, glutathione, magnesium, melatonin, EPA, DHA, and astaxanthin are probably the top things that I would pick. Maybe some quercetin and even some molecular hydrogen, which you can get in tablet form, or you can actually get little water bottles off Amazon that will make your own hydrogen water. So those would be the top supplements. You can find them on my website if you're ready to start supplementing. But sorry, let me say one more thing while I'm thinking about it. If you are one of those people that's really knows that they're sick from electromagnetic fields and you're really looking for quick solutions, one of the most important things for you to do is start detoxing heavy metals from your body so that you're not feeling them as much and you're not reacting as much. And the ways to do that would be with bentonite clay. The one I use is called MediClay FX, and Shilajit, which is really nutrient-dense mineral supplement.
A question I have, I know that I'm allergic to a lot of metals that I put on me, for example, like jewelry and whatnot, but we actually ingest metals as well, right? And some of the things that we eat or the supplements we take?
Yes, but they're different types of metals. When they're naturally occurring, it's not like you can take a mineral supplement that, let's say, has naturally occurring tin. And that might be okay for you, but you wouldn't obviously want to eat tin, like just regular tin. But there are trace amounts of these elements that are in our soils and in our plants that are actually helpful for our bodies.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
And
So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you still making your pendants?
I am.
Can you tell everybody about your pendants?
Sure. I don't know if you can see them on the, probably not. Okay. So this is a little Biofield Resonator that I developed. This one happens to be copper, but I have them in different metals because some people do have an affinity to a different metal, or their fields really prefer one over another. But basically, I was seeing a lot of people come to my practice with like stickers or devices and things for EMFs for their phones that they'd spend a lot of money on and that weren't actually working. And I say they weren't working because I muscle test everything with my clients, and you could actually see that, okay, this isn't doing anything to change your energy field. So I decided I wanted to develop my own product that would actually work. And I actually first made this for one of my clients who wanted something that would protect his employees from the EMF and 5G and all that stuff. And it was already on my list of things to do. So he sort of inspired me. His name's John. And we came up with this design together, and it worked so incredibly well that I decided to continue to produce it for my clients. And when I got the very first prototype, there was a big electrical transformer behind my office, and I went and stood under it and measured my field, and my field completely collapsed. And I went back to my car and I got my Biofield Resonator and I put it in my pocket, and I went back under the electrical transformer, and my field, not only was it really strong, but it was huge. It was out like 6 feet from my body. So since then, I've done all kinds of testing with it. I have done biofield camera before and after with it. I've done electroacupuncture graphing before and after. And I have just tons of testimonials from people, a lot of them about sleep and being able to sleep much better, having more dreams, more deeper REM state. And that's really important. If we are wanting to not age prematurely, we need to make sure we're getting a good night's rest.
So that pendant's very beautiful, but also it serves a purpose. Is that something that you wear all the time?
I wear mine all the time. I wear it during the day and I sleep with mine. I have some people that are highly sensitive that can't sleep with it because it's too much energy for them. But I also have people that are highly sensitive that sleep with it and feel like it's drastically improved their sleep patterns. So it sort of depends on the person. I also have a smaller version that I made for children after a lot of requests, children and pets. I have some people that got them for their dogs. Sure. But yeah, you can actually test it with dowsing or any type of muscle testing and see that it turns on your points. It makes your field bigger and stronger. And this I like because when I'm in my house, I know my house is protected from all the remediation work I've done here. But when I go out to the store or I'm out at a restaurant or driving in my car, I like having something that's going to kind of boost my field up a little bit and give me a little bit of an energetic advantage, I guess you'd call it.
Makes perfect sense. And you have a special offer for our audience. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So anything on my website, supplements or Vastu products, I call them, anything that's going to help your EMF situation, you can use coupon code WELCOME, and that will take 10% off any purchase. And my phone number is on the website. If you have any questions about how to go about fixing something, or you have a specific issue you want more information about, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Fantastic. I'm just going to keep this up until the end of the show for people to check out. So we had talked a little bit before the show about what you wanted people to take away. So can you just reiterate that for our
Sure.
audience?
I want people to know that there are solutions to these problems. And if you are experiencing issues from electromagnetic fields, or you feel like you have things that are draining your field, there are solutions out there for you. And just finding one thing at a time and getting that taken care of is a great place to start. There are lots of other people that have experienced issues from electromagnetics, and there are tons of support groups out there for people if they're looking for them. And there are answers and solutions now. So I just hope people feel a little bit more empowered from hearing this. And those people that maybe didn't notice there was a problem, maybe they'll think about it a little more and take a couple steps as well.
Yeah, I love that, because I'm actually thinking to myself, like, there's a lot of energy I wasn't even thinking about. Maybe that explains this, that, or the other. So thanks for bringing it to light. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Annie, what would you like to share?
Well, I love the idea that you're bringing the awareness that people are in their homes and they're just not feeling well. And they haven't been able to pinpoint what it is. And there's this invisible energy that's in your house that could be causing the migraines, the sleep disturbances, the allergies, all those conditions, and not, going to doctors and trying to seek answers when the answer is right in their home. But it's been invisible, so they haven't been able to see it. And by using your products and your knowledge, you can actually make their homes a safe haven for them to be and feel well in. And once you get well, then what you've been able to do is then limit the re-exposure that they would get. Because what happens is, even if somebody detoxes and gets heavy metals out, if the environmental toxins are in their home, every time they go into their home, then they're re-exposed. And what you're doing is shutting off that re-exposure.
Yeah, or at least dampening it and lessening it and helping them take back some control over their physical health, for sure.
Right. And they're aging. Right?
Be 32 forever.
What a great age.
I'm going to be 32 now. I don't want to go back to when I was 32, because I've learned a lot since then.
Me too. I'd like to just go back to 50, I think. My skin was a lot better.
Well, we're going to get it better. We're all going to, starting today with loving longevity, we're all going to get younger day by day.
Yes, I love it. Starting our own team of longevity support group.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So Jayme, I'm going to spotlight you again. Please let our audience know the best way to reach you, and who would you like to reach out to? You don't want everyone in the world contacting you, right? Because you don't have enough time in the day. Who would you like to contact you?
I would love to hear from people that this topic is resonating with, people that are looking for solutions for reharmonizing their home, or are looking to work with someone specifically on a customized supplement protocol. That's what I do. My number is 941-726-4400. My website is biofieldexpert.com, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. And for people on the radio, she has a special offer. If you go to her website, biofieldexpert.com, just like it sounds, and you use the coupon code WELCOME, WELCOME, all capitals, you receive 10% off any supplement or EMF protection products. Jayme, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure meeting you and hearing about something new that I didn't know about.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I love to learn, Annie. I really do. And that was outstanding.
I know. And you just don't think about where you're getting all that dirty energy and the EMFs exposure. When she started talking about the hair dryer, I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, you know something else, and this has nothing to do with it, but it's something that sparks insights, I think. We don't even know if we have mold behind our walls, right? I remember I lived someplace in an apartment many years ago, and there was black mold growing behind and I never felt well, but I could never tie it to that until somehow they found it in the complex. Somebody complained there was mold. I was like, no wonder I can't breathe. I have headaches and I can't sleep. So it makes total sense with all the energy we have in the house surrounding us.
Right. And just for the audience, now that you mentioned mold, there is a test that you can order. It's called an ERMI test, ERMI. You can Google it. So you can actually test your home for mold. Yeah, this little test kits, you move it around in the different rooms, and then you could send it into a local agency and they can test for mold. But any of these conditions like molds, heavy metals, like Jayme mentioned, all of those create oxidative stress in your body and weaken your immune system. And when that happens, it accelerates your aging. And that's why I'm just, so passionate about bringing this type of information to everybody's awareness. So you can look at your own life to see where your exposures are. And then through, the guests like Jayme that are going to educate us on what we can do to eliminate those toxins and really, kind of clean up our own acts and then prevent re-exposures to these toxins. So it's taking a look at what's going on in your life, detoxing the toxins out, therefore getting the inflammation down, and then strengthening your immune system. And taking those steps will help with the de-aging process. And hopefully in the weeks and months to come, we're going to talk about the foods that you can eat. I think we have a chef that has already volunteered to come on and teach us about de-aging foods. We're gonna learn about de-aging your brain. We're going to hear some amazing stories from folks that are living like amazing lives later on in their lives. And you're going to be learning more about the LifeWave patch technology. I think Jayme mentioned glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant that will help clean out the toxins out of your body. So I'm very excited about the weeks and months to come.
I'm really excited too, because there was a time many years ago, this shows you how uninformed I was, that to me, longevity and looking better was you go to the plastic surgeon, you get a facelift here, you get some injections there, and your longevity just increased tenfold, which is, not accurate.
And I think we even talked about it when I was on the program earlier. We can spend thousands of dollars in the salon to get rid of the dead skin cells on the outer layers. But if the foundation is damaged, all you're going to be revealing is the damaged foundation. So really the healing and the anti-aging has to get down to the foundational levels at the stem cells. So that when we're getting rid of those dead cells on top, what we're revealing is that new youthful skin. And, the stem cells will heal your liver, your heart, your brain, because we're building new cells, new youthful cells.
It makes so much sense. And when we look at an analogy about your home, for example, if the structure, the foundation is flawed, no matter what you put over top of it, what kind of enhancements, it's not going to solve the problem. And I think based on what I've learned from you and also from our other team member, Red O'Laughlin, that we have to look for solutions, not just how do we put Band-Aids on things for symptoms.
Right, because any of those improvements, and I think I even told the story on the other program about getting ready for my wedding. I spent weeks in the salon beforehand to get ready for the photographs. But any of the improvements were just temporary because I hadn't got down to those those foundational levels. So any improvements were just temporary. So what we're, going to focus on are those permanent changes that you can make to your own life to reset your youthful self. And you know what the exciting part is? Our bodies are physically going to get younger, but we have the wisdom of all the years that we've lived up to this point. So like when we were talking to Jayme about everything that she's done on her journey, we have to realize that part of the magic is that we are an accumulation of everything we've ever learned. So we're getting wiser, but younger at the same time.
That's pretty sexy, isn't it?
I think so.
Annie, well, I have you on Spotlight. What's the best way for people to reach you, and who would you like to contact you?
Whichever way you're more comfortable, by email, it's yourtotalbody@yahoo.com. Once again, it's yourtotalbody@yahoo.com. If you're more comfortable texting or calling me, you can do that. It's 941-468-7091. Again, that's 941-468-7091. And I really would love to help anyone who just wants to regain their youth. They want to feel better more confident about their lives. There's things that they want to accomplish, that there's things that they're passionate about, that they want to heal, like their liver or their hearts, or they want a younger brain. They want to be able to live their lives without taking their chronological age into consideration. So it's just when you feel that you just want to keep your life unfolding into the next adventure and the next adventure and the next adventure, and you want the energy to be able to do it, and you want the physical strength to be able to do it, those are the folks that I would love to be able to help.
Fantastic. Well, I think this was an excellent first show. Well done. Well done. And for folks who don't know, there's a lot that goes into the shows. It's not just putting on a green screen, a dress, or a pair of headphones and go, hey, I'm just going to show up. No, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So Annie, you nailed it. Great job.
And thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, because for those of you, all those things that she talked about, she's the one that's doing them. For the most part, I just show up and ask questions.
Well, you did a great job. You did a lot more than that. So for anybody who wants to follow the show, you can go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV, and look for the playlist, which we'll be creating tonight, Loving Longevity. All the shows will be there, so you can watch them anytime over and over again. You can even share the link with other people, because this is the kind of information that people need to know. People, you don't know what you don't know. I just admitted I didn't know, and now I do. So I'm going to be sharing this with as many people as possible.
I'm going to get some paint and put it on my hairdryer.
It's a great idea. All right, Annie, we have to wrap up for today. We have Pet Psychic Amina coming up, and I know you're going to be a guest. When is that?
On the 28th.
28th. Okay, so you get a double header of Annie on the 28th at 3 o'clock Eastern and 4 o'clock Eastern. And for our friends over in the UK, it's 5 hours for Greenwich Mean Time.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Annie. Bye. We are rounding out the rest of our programming for this week with presenting Pet Psychic Amina, and our guest today is Reverend Dottie Boone from the Center for Creative Living. And I love doing a show with these two because they're two psychics, and I feel so small when I'm with them. But if you want to have a reading, please do join us. Our show's coming up literally in 10 minutes. So thank you, Annie. Thank you, Jayme. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye.